would you describe the emotional change in you? Or did you get depressed?
I have been right along. I know I have, but I also have issues with my insurance company. And I find that I probably I don't like, they have tried me on several different antidepressant drugs. And it seems like when I go on that, I'm on other drugs to keep the headaches away, basically. I got thyroid problems now because of that. I've got a lot of other things that it seems like then when the antidepressants are added into the whole mix, it screws up other stuff. So it's kind of like I've played, like, what's the lesser of two evils? So I deal with the depression. It's not the depression so deep that I'm suicidal.
Tell me about how would you describe the depression?
Just like I said, I don't feel any true joy or happiness, or I'm flat. I just feel like emotionally I'm flat. There's just nothing either way.
What's it like to deal with other people's anger?
You know, my husband is the biggest one that I'll detach myself. Anyone starts with the anger or starts, I feel like, yelling at me or what, I'll detach myself and just walk away. I won't fight. The only thing I will fight with, believe it or not, is my insurance company. That's the only ones. I did get upset with a couple different doctors, but you know what? I'll just go elsewhere. That's about the only fight I have in me, but I feel like if I don't do it, I'm going to get run over.
What about angry customers at work?
You know, I'm pretty good about that. My biggest thing is just calming them down. I will write down, if they yell, write down their problems or try to just repeat, this is what the problem is, this is what you think. Actually think I'm pretty good at it because I've only had a few instances where somebody is just swearing at me. I've been called names and I calmly actually say, I'm sorry, but I am not listening to you calling me names, and if you want to talk about this, that's fine, but you call me one more name, I'm hanging up, and I have done that.
And if you want to skip over these questions, you can, and I don't want specific detail, but has there been a change in your affection, intimacy, the physical contact you feel with, connection you feel with your husband?
Yeah, that has more or less, I force myself, pretty much. One of my problems, and I had a real issue with my OBGYN over this, is I wasn't having periods. And so I had gone to him, this was January, I went to him in May and said, this isn't working. And he said, well, with that brain injury, it's going to take your body a while to get back in sync. Okay, he said, give it a year. So in the meantime, I felt like every month I was going through the cycle, but it wasn't happening. So I called him in December and said, I feel like I'm having this and it's not working. So he said, well, it hasn't been a year. Well, it was in the following month, so I finally pushed it again. Well, come to find out, I had endometriosis so bad that it had wrapped around, it had screwed up my other insides. And instead of a simple operation, it turned into a nightmare. They ended up cutting me, and that's where I had told them, you're not listening. I told you there was problems. Now I ended up with major surgery. And I went, and now between that and this brain injury, it's the flat. I just kind of force myself to.
What is the biggest thing that the doctors don't listen to you about when you try to get treatment for your brain injury or whatever it might be?
I feel like when I tell them the certain drugs aren't working, or I don't want to be on them, or I feel like at one point I was taking 12 different pills, and it's like this, I'm all over the place, I'm not keeping this straight. One of them was, well, I don't know what to tell you. Well, and it's like, well, try different times, or are you sure you're taking this right? I don't know what else to do. I had one doctor, a neurologist, had sent me to a psychiatrist, but it was basically for just the pills and the amount that I was on, and he would tweak things up. Well, then he left the hospital, he left the whole clinic and went elsewhere, and I really liked him. And he had me settled, and he had me down to 6 pills a day, and everything I felt like was evening out. And he left, and I got a letter that he was leaving. And so I went back to the hospital and asked where he had ended up, and they wouldn't tell me. They said he just left. Well, I found out later that he's not too far away, but he's no longer taking new patients. So like I said, I have talked to my neurologist a couple different times and said, you're rushing me through. Now they have him where he's not in the area he's in the area 2 days a week instead of 5. I don't feel like he's available. I don't like his partner at all.
You say rushing you through, meaning he's not taking enough time to listen.
Right, exactly. His big thing is, all he asks is the headaches. Which I realize my headaches are a major, major ordeal for me, and preventing them, dealing with them, that type of thing is fine. I have told him about depression, and he said, are you suicidal? No. Are you going to do anything at all to hurt yourself or others? No. I just don't feel good. And that's been
Talk to us a little bit more about your headaches.
I have gotten them already. One of my fractures is right here. That's where I get the majority of them. I have gotten them where, okay, I take a couple Imitrex. We have found that works, and it either goes away or at least helps with the pain. I have had them already so bad that I've gone to the hospital to have an IV to have them taken away. I have gotten them. I have 6 different ice packs that I keep in my freezer at home. They're all different sizes. They're all different shapes. It depends on where the headache is and how bad it is as to which ice pack I'm going to use. I have a lot of it. I go to bed. I have put blankets over the windows, or at least the blinds down. It's like no noise. Pack me in ice. I don't eat. I will do the Imitrex, and if I really can't sleep, then I'm popping Vicodin.